just like we did in compound interest, there are things that tend to grow as multiples. एक particular percentage, a particular multiple में grow करती है. That is when the topic of exponential growth and decay comes. When things tend to increase, just like in compound interest, they are getting 10% compound interest. That means हर साल के end में the amount that will be accumulated, उसका 10% is what the interest will be. So let's go through the formula of compound interest that we have already studied, because that is also an exponential growth. Power n. Okay, what is principal? Principal is the initial amount. An is the amount after n years, and n is the number of years or number of time period that has elapsed. इसी तरह basic, so we get two basic formula for exponential growth and decay. First, for exponential growth, I can say that the quantity after n time period can be written as 1 plus r upon 100 to the power n times the initial quantity. This is exponential growth. And exponential decay, I can generalize it as the same thing, but because it is decaying, so I'll just subtract it from this one. That the quantity eventually decreases. So these are two general formula for exponential growth and decay. Compound interest समझ क्या है कि how did we get this? उसी तरह से, if there is anything that is growing exponentially at a particular rate, here in these cases the rate is in a particular percentage. Keep this in mind. Qi is the initial quantity and Qn is the quantity after n periods have elapsed. N months हो सकते हैं, n years हो सकते हैं, depending on the rate. And the growth rate के per month है, per year है, per day है. What is the growth rate per time? So उतने time period जब lapse कर जाते हैं तो we get Qn, the quantity after n. This is for exponential growth and this is for exponential decay. But in these ones, the rate has to be in a percentage. We'll do more questions जिसमें जरूरी नहीं है percentage में होगा. So I'll make formula with you so that you understand. You can make a formula on your own as well. Q is the quantity. Qi is the initial quantity and Qi is the initial quantity. कोई भी quantity हो सकती है that is growing. Qn is the quantity after n years हो सकता है, n months हो सकता है, ठीक है. And R is the growth या decay का rate in percentage. So R has to be in percentage for you to use these formula. चाहे वो growth हो, चाहे वो decay हो, for both this is valid. Okay, now let's try to model a few questions. Again, will not be over relying on this formula. We'll first try to understand what quantity do we have and how do we go about doing it. Okay, the number of bacteria in a petri dish. This is exercise 4D from the book 3 की 4D है. The number of bacteria in a petri dish doubles every hour. If now the time period is per hour, not per year, इसको जरा ख्याल रखना है, ठीक है ना. तो the exponential growth or decay, whatever it is, will be per hour. The question is telling us it doubles, so that means there is growth. But the question is not provided me with percentage. कितने percent increase है right now in the question. So I cannot just blindly use the formula that I have been given. We will try to model this on our own. हम खुद इसका model बनाएंगे. We'll try to make a formula on our own so that we can understand there is more to this topic than just the formula itself. The number of bacteria in a petri dish doubles every hour. So if I want to find out the bacteria, the initial bacteria, I'm calling it N1. या इसको N0 भी कह देते हैं, Ni या N0 भी कह देते हैं, which is the initial bacteria. ठीक है, initial bacteria कितना है हमारे पास? 50, and it will double every hour. So if I ask you the bacteria after 1 hour, what did you do? So what is the operation that was involved? Very good, multiplied by 2. So 50 times 2. I am deliberately keeping it this way so that I can help you understand how to model and construct a formula on your own. N1 नहीं initially, N0 initial ले ली. Ni ले लो या N0 ले लो. Because time 0 पे वो value होती है. You have started the time. So that is called N0. ठीक है, हमने initial I से भी बनाई थी इसको नॉट से भी ले सकते हैं व्हेन वी हैव अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड। इनिशियल वैल्यू क्यू नॉट लिख लो, क्यू आई की जगह, क्यू आई की जगह क्यू नॉट लिख लो, इट्स द सेम थिंग, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट। So N1 is the number of bacteria after 1 hour. What about the bacteria after 2 hours? What did you do? आपने कहा N1 को, just like we did in compound interest, N1 will be multiplied by 2 again. So if I wanted to write it with the initial value, how will I write it? 50 times 2 times 2, which can be simplified to 50 times 2 squared, which is obviously 4. Now, do you people see the link? I know you can give me the numerical value very easily, but I want you to understand the model, how to develop a formula, and how to link the initial quantity with a particular quantity after a certain time is spanned. बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं, 100 times 2 कर सकते हैं, मैं मॉडलिंग सिखा रहा हूँ। If you want to relate it to a formula, मैं कहूँ 50 after 50 hours तो बार बार करते रहोगे क्या? So it's better if you understand a particular model, उसमें वैल्यू डाल के डायरेक्ट निकाल लो। So what about, आप खुद देखो, this is N1 and this is N2. What about N3? If I wanted to make N3, मैं इसको दोबारा 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा, N2 into 2, which will be 50 times 2 cube. Is that right or wrong? What about N4? 50 times 2 to the power 4. So if I want to find the number of bacteria after any number of hours, which are T, how will I make the formula? 50 into 2 to the power T. इसमें we did not use the formula that we had. इसको भी use कर सकते हैं, वो भी अभी दिखा दूंगा उसको कैसे use करना है, but let's understand कि आप modeling, there is more to exponential growth and decay rather than just the formula that we are stuck with. इसको हमने बगैर उसके बना दिया। अगर डबल हो रहा है तो आपने 2 लगाया और पावर में t कर दिया। दिस इज एक्सपोनेंशियल का मतलब भी पावर होता है। तो यू हैव अ नंबर ऑफ बैक्टीरिया आफ्टर अ सर्टेन टाइम पीरियड। क्वेश्चन ने कितने टाइम पीरियड के बाद पूछा है? 6। तो व्हाट कैन वी डू? 2 की पावर, वेरी गुड, दिस इज व्हाट वी नीड। अभी तो 6 पूछा, अगर मैं 18 पूछता तो बनाते रहते क्या? बट वंस वी अंडरस्टैंड हाउ वी मॉडल इट, तो वी कैन मेक इट नंबर ऑफ बैक्टीरिया आफ्टर 6 आवर्स चाहिए 50 into 2 to the power 6. You can use your calculators and tell me 3200. अब व्हाट इफ सर, आपने तो ये फॉर्मूला पढ़ाया था ग्रोथ का, मैं तो इसके साथ था, एंड आई वांटेड टू यूज दिस। माय इनिशियल क्वांटिटी इज 50, बट व्हाट अबाउट परसेंटेज में होना चाहिए? सो इफ समवन इज टेलिंग मी दैट इट डबल्स, व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज इंक्रीज? कितने परसेंट से बढ़ रहा है? इफ समथिंग इज डबलिंग, the rate of increase is 100%. If something is doubling, the rate of increase is 100. एक 50 था, 50 में you add 50 more, so your rate of increase is 100%. R की जगह आप 100 डाल सकते हैं, so you get your Qn as 1 plus 100 upon 100 to the power n times your initial quantity. So 100 अब प्लस 100 1 हो गया, 2 to the power n, वही दोबारा फॉर्मूला आपके पास बन गया है। सो Q6 आपको चाहिए 2 की पावर 6 टाइम्स द इनिशियल क्वांटिटी 50, यू गेट योर Q6। तो दोनों तरीके से करके दिखा दिया मैंने आपको। यू कैन यूज द जेनरिक फॉर्मूला एज वेल और यू कैन मॉडल इट ऑन योर ओन एज वेल, दोनों तरीके सही हैं। Okay, now question 2, the number of tourists, अब इसमें tourist का नंबर है, who visited a particular attraction in 2018 was 22,000. Each year the number declines by 12%. Now what is this, growth or decay? This is a decay. Find the number of tourists in 2030. First and foremost, for students who just want to say कि sir हमारी जान पड़ा है, we don't want to think a lot, we just want to use the generic methods to get to the conclusion, fine. Let's go through your way. तो हम कहेंगे कि हमें चाहिए quantity after how many years do we need it? After 2018 में था तो 12 years के बाद हमें चाहिए 1 minus what is the rate of decay, and it is in percentage, power is 12, and what is the initial quantity? 22,000. So you can find the quantity after 12 years, which is, बताओ जरा, calculator use करो, you can put it in this entire thing, 1 minus 12 upon 100, and this for the power 12 times 22,000. And you get 4744 है, and the next digit is 7, rounding it off 4745. 4745 हो जाएगा वो, obviously 0.7 है. So 4SF पे मैंने round off कर दिया. 4745 is your quantity after 12 years. हाँ तो 0.7 है ना, 7 को round off किया तो this 4 को round off. So this will be 4745. ठीक है. This is the quantity after 12 years. But if someone wanted to model them it on their own, उनके लिए क्या होगा? If the tourists were decreasing 12% and I say that the initial tourist N naught was 22,000, मैंने उसको number N ले लिया. Tourist after 1 year will be 88% of N naught because they were decreasing 12%. So after 2 years, they will be 88% of N1. पिछले साल के जो टूरिस्ट हैं उसका we will be left with 88% of those number of tourists. So if I simplify N2, I can say it is 88% of N0, or I can say this will be 88% square of N0 N2 not. अगर 12% if something decreased by 12%, how much of it remained? 88%. सही है ना? So can I say now कि n after time t, if I want to find out, that is 88% t of n naught. Is that right? So if I want to find out 88, 12 साल के बाद निकालने number of tourists, I'll put 12 over here. 88 is 88% या 0.88 कर लो. Power में you put 12 and initial tourist 22,000. Both ways you will get your same answer. Don't worry about it. क्या है answer? 4745. Is this clear? Just to help you understand. Right now we are thinking कि सोचने के तरीके सीख रहे हैं, right? That is what we are more focused on. Initially, the population of a species of insects in a colony is 1,000. It increases by 1% daily. What is this? Exponential growth or decay? Growth. The population is increasing. So the general way that we have done this is how we relate our growth. अब उसने क्या होता है? Write down a formula for the population P. Now they have said population is P. बिल्कुल 1 लिख दिया. The question said after D. पहला वाला आंसर तो बताओ. This is the first answer. And you can simplify it and you can say 100 का LCM लोगे तो 101 upon 100 power D times 1000. This is your formula. This is the answer for the first part. अब जो उसने वेरिएबल को नाम दिया, please make sure you use that. I do not call every one of you with the same name, right? Please don't call everything with the same name. If the question has a particular name for it, use it. What is the population after 30 days? So you can just plug in D की जगह 30 and please जरा एक चीज का ख्याल रखना, the growth rate is also daily और time भी day में होगा. The rate जिस हिसाब से होगा यहाँ time period उसी हिसाब से होगा. You cannot take the rate daily and plug in number of months over here. Is this clear or not? If the rate of was monthly, यहाँ time भी months में आएगा. Please be very careful with this. This is something that they can trick you with. So the population after 30 days, you can plug in final answer. Non-exact final answers can be left to 3SF. मैं इसको ऐसे कर रहा हूँ 1.01 to the power 30. 1350 भी लिख सकते हो, 1348 भी लिख सकते हो. Both are acceptable. 1348 लिख लो, 1350 with 3SF में. This will be acceptable. Is this clear? Okay, now let's have a look at this question. Yasser bought a car. After T years, its value P dollars is given by this. How do you identify that whether it's a growth or a decay? The question has provided us with the formula. How do we identify that whether it's a growth or a decay? So 0.86 hai, so what does that mean? It is a decay. इसलिए मैं समझा रहा था, इफ यू आर नॉट मॉडलिंग ऑन योर ओन, 100% से कम वैल्यू है ना ये. इफ आई वांट टू कन्वर्ट इट इनटू परसेंटेज, दिस बिकम्स 86%. ज्यादा होती तो 101%, 120%, तो वो ग्रोथ होती. दिस इज अ डिके. हाउ मच डिड यासिर पे फॉर द कार? इनिशियल वैल्यू कितनी थी? बगैर उसके भी निकाल सकते हैं ना. देखो कौन से 25,000 टाइम 0.86 टू द पावर. What is the initial value? Can you see it from the formula? T. Because the question is telling us after T years. What is the initial value? आप टाइम को जीरो रख के भी निकाल सकते हैं और you can do it logically as well. अगर आप टाइम को जीरो रख दे, for initial value you can plug in time as zero, right? बिल्कुल एट द स्टार्टिंग की बात हो रही है. उसके बगैर भी करोगे, दिस वैल्यू विल बिकम 1 और दिस विल बी योर इनिशियल वैल्यू, जो हर दफा मल्टीप्लाई हो रही होती है, जिसपे वेरिएबल नहीं लगा हुआ होता. रीड द क्वेश्चन. व्हाट इज द क्वेश्चन आस्किंग? इनिशियल वैल्यू. बिल्कुल. फिर वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता उसकी कार की वैल्यू चेंज होती रहती है. सो इनिशियल वैल्यू के लिए यू कैन प्लग इन टाइम एज जीरो एज वेल, और यू कुड हैव डन इट लॉजिकली एज वेल. दिस इज योर इनिशियल वैल्यू 25,000. तो यासिर पेड. हाँ, सवाल पढ़ो. बिल्कुल, वो पे ही इनिशियल करके ही खरीदता है, देन द वैल्यू डिक्रीजेस. इज दिस क्लियर? इसको इकोनॉमिक्स में डेप्रिसिएशन भी कहते हैं, कि द वैल्यू कीप्स ऑन डिक्रीजिंग आफ्टर अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम. पाकिस्तान में it's a very odd economy that here the values of car appreciate, but generally in the world the values of car depreciate. They decrease over a period of time. Find the percentage decrease. Very good. That has the variable on it. और जो इनिशियल वैल्यू थी वो कांस्टेंट होती है, मल्टीप्लाई हो रही हो, राइट? ऐसे भी देखकर कर सकते हैं. वेल डन. तो ये पे $25,000. लिंक भी कर सकते हैं फॉर्मूला, और वैसे बता सकते हैं परसेंटेज डिक्रीज कितने परसेंट वो हो रही है. 14% डिक्रीज हो रही है. यू कैन आइदर डायरेक्टली डू इट एज वेल, or if you want to relate it to the formula, as most of you prefer to do it. I do not recommend over reliance on the formula, but most of you prefer doing it, इसलिए बता रहा हूँ. If you want to relate it, इसकी जगह क्या आ गया है? What do you have in place of 1 minus r upon 100? नहीं. और से देखो, this has a power on it. ये exponential growth के लिए हमारे पास आया. This is not the initial quantity. इसकी जगह you have 0.86. तो आप कहते हैं भाई ओके, 1 minus r upon 100 बेसिकली 0.86 हो गया है मेरे पास. इनिशियल तो ये है ना. अगेन ऑर्डर चेंज करने से कोई फर्क थोड़ी पड़ता है. फॉर राइट द इनिशियल फर्स्ट एंड द रेट ग्रोथ में बाद में लिख दूं. Let's do it once. 1 minus 0.86 is equals to r upon 100. I'll explain it again, don't worry. 1 minus 0.86 is 0.14 is r upon 100, and the rate of decrease is 14%. This is one way of doing it. आपने कंपेयर कर लिया इस फॉर्मूले को अपने जनरल डिके के फॉर्मूले के साथ, and you figured out कि यहाँ पावर में t आ रहा है, तो this has to be something जो इसकी जगह पर लिखा हुआ है. Is this clear? तो आपने कहा कि 1 minus r upon 100 is basically 0.86 and you solve for r. आसान तरीका ये भी था, आप 0.86 को परसेंटेज में कर लें तो 86% आ गया. So if something is becoming 86%, how much of it is decreasing? 14% is decreasing. Obviously that was the easier method. ये उनके लिए जो बिल्कुल सर फॉर्मूले से कराए, बस सिर्फ ये उनके लिए मेथड है. I told you in the first place, I do not recommend कि इतना ज्यादा आप ओवर रिलायंस ऑन फॉर्मूला करें. थोड़ा अपना दिमाग और लॉजिक लगा के भी चीज को किया जा सकता है. Is this clear?